The fallout from the recent discovery of classified documents at the homes of President Biden and former Vice President Pence continues. A growing chorus of bipartisan lawmakers calling for more transparency into what is actually in those documents. Correspondent Joe Khalil live for us in our nation's capital with more on what Congress is looking for. Joe?
Well, Natasha, I can tell you there's clearly some frustration here, not just from Republicans, by the way, but also from Democrats who are now demanding the Biden administration and the Director of National Intelligence show certain members of Congress what exactly was in those classified documents that were found at Donald Trump and President Joe Biden's private homes. Now, the group most vocal about this is the Senate Intelligence Committee. This is a select committee. It's made up of just 14 senators, 7 Republicans, 7 Democrats, and it is literally their job to oversee the intelligence agencies. So the committee now handles classified material routinely. All of them have the proper clearance to see classified documents. And this committee's leaders, again, one Republican, one Democrat, they have been making a bipartisan case that they've got a duty to protect American security and American secrets. And they say they simply cannot do that job properly if they don't know what the material was that was potentially compromised.
The Justice Department has had the Trump documents about 6 months, the Biden documents about 3 months. Our job's not to figure out if somebody mishandled those, but our job is to make sure there's not an intelligence compromise. The notion that we're going to be left in limbo and we can't do our job, that just cannot stand.
And it's not about being nosy. You know, here's the bottom line. If, in fact, those documents were very sensitive, materials were sensitive, and they pose a counterintelligence or national security threat to the United States, then the intelligence agencies are tasked with the job of coming up with ways to mitigate that.
And Natasha, Senator Marco Rubio made another point I thought was relevant. He said, look, whatever these documents are, the senators on this committee already have the legal access to them. So if they know what documents to ask for, they could just ask to see them and be granted that request. The problem is there are tens of millions of documents marked classified every single year. So they simply don't even know what to ask for. But if they did know that information, they would be able, in theory, just to see these documents.
Interesting, Joe. And what about public perception of all of this, the optics of the document scandal? Do we have a sense of what Americans at home are saying about this?
So we do have some sense of that, Natasha. In fact, we have some new polling for people who are at least paying attention to this. It's interesting. They seem to put equal amount of blame on both President Trump and President Biden. When you take a look here, this is a new NBC poll that was just done in the middle of January. And the question was asked, do you think it's problematic for these presidents? 67% said yes, they're concerned about President Biden. And the exact same number, 67%, said they were concerned with these documents in President Trump's situation as well. So when it comes to the public and their perception of this, they're not really picking sides here.
Interesting. Exactly the same. All right. Joe Khalil live for us in D.C. tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.